All right then, good afternoon, everyone. Today is September 1st, 2020. This is a special meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority being conducted in Albany and also remotely. We have in Albany Chairman Bradley. We have by video Commissioners Ford and Fan. We also have the staff that's attending, General Counsel Meyerhoff by phone. Carrie, could you just acknowledge you're there for the record?
Yes, I'm here.
Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts.
I'm here, Tom. Thanks.
And myself, Secretary Donahue, in person in Albany. All right, we have two matters on today's special meeting calendar. They are both requests from Council's Office for summary orders of suspension. The first item is agenda number 1035 P, Queens OP 1275612. The licensee is Soho Catering and Coffee, Inc.
Thank you. Good afternoon, members of the authority. Robert Buckley for Council's Office. Karaoke activity in a licensed premises can be an enjoyable activity. However, it seems under the current emergency order with the pandemic, as well as the executive orders issued by the governor, such activity cannot go on. The licensee in question has a trade name of Soho KTV. It is located at 3202 Linden Place, Flushing, New York. This licensee was licensed initially on July 17, 2014 as a karaoke cafe with 25 rooms, each equipped with its own restroom on the first floor, a mezzanine for storage, and an office with a capacity of 200 persons. The building, I'll just describe the building very briefly because it may play into the report of the New York City Office of Sheriff, whose office visits location on Sunday, August 30th, 2020. It seems like the building is on the west side of the building is Farrington Street. On the east side is Linden Place. On the north is 32nd Avenue. The sheriff's report indicates it's 32nd Street at times. No, it's 32nd Avenue is the east-west street. And then to the south is a small parking lot. Actually, where the premises, where one enters the premises, actually appears to be on Farrington Street, as well as in the building. There's to be a spa sauna called Fountain of Youth that's entered through the parking lot. And then there's another sauna or sauna called Pine Village, which is entered on the Linden Place address. The New York City Office of Sheriff, Bureau of Criminal Investigation, had several sergeants, deputies, and detectives visit this location again at 11 p.m. on Sunday, the 30th of August, based on a complaint. It may very well be complaints that actually the State Liquor Authority received. The State Liquor Authority received through the Enforcement Bureau various complaints in July of this year, indicating this premises was operating with reservations, people coming back and forth into this location. So when these sheriff deputies or officers were there initially, they were there in the parking lot. They saw two individuals in the parking lot, and those two individuals went their separate ways, one on Farrington and one on Linden. The sheriff's office decided to split themselves up into two groups, one going on Linden, one going on Farrington Street, to meet on 32nd Avenue. When they got on 32nd Avenue, they could see from an emergency exit about 40 to 50 persons leaving this location, and Deputy Jimenez could hear more people on the other side of the door, and lights could be seen turning off from the street. So apparently these deputies accessed the building itself. They say through the spa. I'm not sure if they meant the spa on Linden or the spa through the parking lot, but in any event, they indicate in the report they cleared the first floor, again, where the karaoke cafe in question, the licensee, is located. And then they ascended to the roof. Appears to be that this building is let's say a 1.5-story building. I say that one story, and then partially that apparently where the second floor spa is located is an extension that doesn't cover the entire building. When they went to the roof, they found an open door with another 23 or so patrons were found gathering, and 2 employees apparently disclosed and contacted the manager, Mr. Zen Nen Lee, who the 2 sergeants from the sheriff's office spoke to. Mr. Lee's version of the events was that people that the sheriff saw were just there to pick up bottles that they had left at the establishment prior to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. And they were just there to get their bottles. Again, while the investigators were clearing people from the first floor, they saw no persons leave with bottles. Additionally, they inspected some of these karaoke rooms, and as the photographs attached to the report see, that apparently it looks like persons had just left, where there's half-filled bottles of alcohol, food like slices of watermelon, appears to be edamame, on the tables, cups, debris, some masks, etc. The story that the manager gave is carries no weight whatsoever. It appears to be obviously people were there at this location, and it appears that once the people or the management was aware, now there were law enforcement personnel there. They apparently ordered the patrons to leave the premises, again through the emergency exit or whatever, because it appears that, again, looking at Google photographs, it appears to be security cameras all over the perimeter of the building, where again the spas are located and where this premise is located. They then also encountered a manager. Sorry if I get the manager's name. Quan Chen Yang, and Quan Chen Yang identified himself as the manager, and I see that from a June 1st, 2019 March report, the same person identified himself as the manager and said to be the manager for the past 5 years. And this person again gave the same version of the events, that these people were just there to pick up their bottles. Again, a version of event that really has no association with any kind of reality. Eventually, the area was cleared. The deputies then closed up the location at 1:38 a.m. on yesterday, Monday, August 31st, 2020. So again, as I said from the beginning, karaoke activity by its nature is something that occurs in a small confined space. Again, these are 25 rooms. This location has, again, also as noticed in the photographs, also ERP microphones. By its nature, karaoke is something where people sing, which, as we know from the science, from common sense, would tend to transmit vapors or then possibly the coronavirus to other people in this confined space, as well as people would not obviously be social distancing. All these rooms seem to have, again, they have bathrooms and couches. They seem to be well appointed, but the fact remains that karaoke activity cannot be maintained under the executive orders 202.3 and 202.43 that the governor has issued to stem the transmission of the virus. Again, this location just renewed its license on July 1st of this year. I'm not sure what they were thinking about to renew this license. Again, there's no way this activity that the licensee has on its location can operate, again, under the executive orders or just by common sense. Again, then having these bottles that they keep, apparently there's a photograph of liquor bottles that do appear to have a piece of paper on it, which may be liquor bottles which people have left there to come back to. But again, that seems to be unsanitary in on its face. Under the rules of the authority, a bottle club licensee has to have lockers. They can't sell liquor, so even if they were operating as a bottle club licensee, which they're not, they're a full liquor license, it violates all the rules of the authority, as well as again, by extending its premises to the roof. It seems to be the name they're occupying the space where one of the spas is located, they're violating the ABC law as well. So for all these reasons, I believe the members should consider emergency order summary suspension. This premises, again, cannot operate in this fashion, again, with indoor service. The history of this location, the adverse history is they paid a $2,000 penalty for health code violations that occurred on this, that were noted on the June 1st, 2019 March operation, and there's been other adverse history. There's been no prior visits in terms of executive order warnings. Again, I believe this inspection was probably referred to the sheriff's office from the complaints that came through the State Liquor Authority in July, several dates in July, where somebody was complaining about the same activity which the sheriff saw this past Sunday evening going into Monday morning. So one other thing I want to point out is that Investigator Stravalli was there at the location with a Vice and New York City building joint inspection, and several violations were issued. This premises has been also, or the building owner has been cited many times, and that the certificate of occupancy expired on, I believe, March 1st, 2016. And so therefore, the premises should not have any more than 74 people. The building was last cited by the building department on March 9th, 2020, for again, not complying with the certificate of occupancy. In that, again, apparently the premises before was a billiard hall, now it's converted into a karaoke room without an appropriate amendment to the certificate of occupancy rather. So again, for a multitude of reasons, this premises should not continue to operate with its license.
Thanks, Bob. It's Gary here. I jumped off the audio and I'm now on the video, and I may have missed something, but I just wanted to point out, and excuse me if I'm repeating something that you said. This location had put plastic garbage bags up against the windows to conceal what was going on inside. And then we're secreting people out the back and turning off lights when a sheriff's vehicle pulled up at the location. Consciousness of guilt. Thanks.
All right, with that then, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
Mr. Buckley, when was the Stravalli inspection, the vice inspection?
Commissioner Fan, that would be the evening of November 26, 2019. That might have been a day or two after Thanksgiving of this last year. That's still listed as a open investigation in the Enforcement Bureau. It has not been referred to counsel's office.
And you mentioned, so the COO is expired, but there's a use problem? There's a use group problem, or you didn't say that? I just didn't hear you clearly.
Looking at the building department's site violations that have been cited again several times. Again, the most recent inspection was on March 9, 2020, where it indicates that the premises would change from a might have been some others, from a billiard hall or billiard parlor to an eating and drinking establishment, and that is contrary to what was allowed by the certificate of occupancy. And again, that the premises have been altered or changed without a valid certificate of occupancy. So the certificate of occupancy does allow for apparently these 2 spas or saunas, and the most recent certificate of occupancy, again, which expired March 1st, 2016, and is the only one I saw, the last one I saw, indicates that on the first floor, the premises can operate as a billiard parlor with 200 persons, but this premises, again, converted its location to a karaoke room, again, with 25 some odd rooms, 25 rooms, and that is apparently contrary to the C of O. The building owner has been cited numerous times with penalties racked up and no indication that the building owner is in compliance or.
Okay.
Commissioner Fan, do you have any more questions?
No, I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Tom.
Chairman Bradley?
So this place has been open since 2014. How much in fines have they paid since then? Because I think it's significantly more than you've indicated.
You're right, Chairman, sorry. The most recent one was the civil penalties for health regulations. That was 2,000, but that was on October 2nd, your meeting of October 2nd. But at the meeting of July 17th, there was a $20,000 penalty for failure to comply with local regulations, disorderly premises on several occasions, failed to comply with local regs.
That's what I thought. So I believe they're over 32,000 in the last 4 years.
Right, Chairman, and then a $12,000 penalty on August 16th of 2016. So
Okay.
34,000 in the last 4 years.
Okay.
Anything else, Chairman?
No.
All right, with that, I'll call for your votes. First, Commissioner Fan.
This licensee has a long history with our agency. It's clear that they are completely violating the governor's executive orders, as Council Meyerhoff pointed out, that they're covering their entrances with garbage bags, turning lights off, and directing their customers to exit when the sheriffs showed up outside, and they're ignoring their responsibilities under the COVID-19 executive orders due to imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare. I'm voting to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford.
For all the reasons stated by Council and Commissioner Fan, I vote to summarily suspend as well.
You want sirens for your vote too?
Is that your house, Commissioner Ford?
No.
Oh, it's our office. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're-
Yeah.
Chairman Bradley.
I vote to summarily suspend. This licensee went to tremendous measures to try to hide their illegal activity. It's obvious that they were operating outside of the executive orders and intentionally doing so. And as a result, are a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare for their workers as well as their customers.
All right, the next item I have is 1035 QQ, Suffolk OP 1269253. The licensee is Rusty Nail, Inc.
Alex Lloyd for Council's Office. This is a presentation of Rusty Nail, DBA Temptations, to the members of the Authority for an Emergency Order of Summary Suspension. It's located at 10 Carlo Road, Bohemia, New York, in Suffolk County. The license was issued December 7, 2013. The licensee is licensed to operate as an adult entertainment establishment with exotic dancing and topless entertainment for the employees only. And it is licensed to have a food prep area. SLA investigator Stravali, along with the Suffolk County Police Department, visited the licensed premises on August 29, 2020. As you can see from a few of the pictures and from the narrative that investigator Stravali submitted, at least 10 employees were either not wearing their masks or wearing them improperly. You can see one of those employees is the security guard. One of the employees is actually the dancer giving a patron a lap dance, and two of them are bartenders. Additionally, there were several patrons, at least 10, standing in front of the premises, patrons and employees. They're not social distancing and not wearing masks, or again, wearing them incorrectly, either not covering the mouth or the face or being worn under the chin. They also were not meeting their food requirement. As you can see from the picture, there are just 2 paper plates that were sitting on the bar, each with 1 slice of pizza. Investigator Stravali was told by the manager that the pizza was delivered, but he was not able to produce any receipts for the pizza or any receipts for any other food that was ordered. and there was no food on any of the other tables where patrons were sitting and drinking. Additionally, under 202.41, the pictures of the dancer giving a lap dance, it's clear that when it comes to the inside, there's still rules about social distancing. Clearly, these two people are on top of each other and they're not wearing masks, and that's an executive order violation. In addition, while at the premises, investigator Stravali observed that there was a visibility problem because the glass in the front of the premises was tinted. He was also unable to review the full books and records at the licensed premises, as there was not a proprietary security guard form, business certificate, or an original certificate of authority. Just one note on the employment of the unlicensed security guard. Investigator Stravali noted that one of the security guards, his license expired on April 1 of 2020, but under Executive Order 202.11, there's been a stay of all of the licenses until September 4th. So Jeremy Scholes is still unlicensed, and so that's an example of an unlicensed security guard, but I just wanted to clarify for the members of the board that the other individual is not actually unlicensed at this time. Also, Investigator Stravali noticed there was not a business certificate on display. The certificate of authority posted was a duplicate, a copy of the original. There were numerous fire code violations, including failure to maintain fire extinguisher records, failure to provide flame-proof curtains, reports, an open junction box, and unsecured compressed gas tanks. At this point, the licensee cannot claim to be unaware of the executive orders and any of the DOH or SLA guidance. Both of those have been in place for months. It's clear that this location presents an imminent risk to the public's health, safety, and welfare. Therefore, Council's office is requesting that an emergency order of summary suspension be issued for this license.
Thank you, Alex. Gary again here. Just wanted to point out that this is exactly what the Department of Health guidance is, although we're generally applying to restaurant service, is designed to prevent. There's a reason why only parties that come together can sit with each other and the tables need to be apart. It's so that there is no cross mingling and cross contamination, and why employees are supposed to be wearing face masks. While this is, I think, maybe the first matter that's come to the board with, actually maybe it's the second, with lap dancing, I can think of no better way to violate the rules than to have an employee without a mask go from lap dance to lap dance with customers. In addition to the photograph of this one lap dance, there's also a log in your record that shows that there were multiple lap dances occurring. The risk here, I think, is obvious. Thank you.
All right then, Commissioner Fan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions. Thank you, Tom.
Commissioner Ford, do you have any questions?
Yeah, when did you say they were licensed? I might have missed that.
Oh, sorry. December 7, 2013.
And any adverse history?
So there is currently an unadjudicated matter back that occurred May 2019, and the matter does involve an unlicensed security guard. So there is possibly some duplication there, but as I said, unadjudicated.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Chairman Bradley, any questions?
So it's obvious that the pizza was coming from somewhere outside. Do they have any ability to make food inside?
So investigator Stravali noted there was not a full kitchen. It's not clear to what extent there was the food prep area that they were at least licensed to have. But either way, the manager stated that they were not serving patrons food from their own premises. All that they were
Okay.
doing at that time was providing the pizza from elsewhere.
Okay, thank you.
All right, with that, I'll call for the vote of the members. First, Commissioner Fan.
It should be obvious by now to all licensees that exotic dancing and adult entertainment is not yet allowable under the reopening plan. At this license premise, we also have evidence that the owner is not in control and is not around and is not in a physical condition to be running his business. And so because of all that, I find that there is imminent threat to public health, safety, and welfare, and I vote to summarily suspend this license.
Commissioner Ford, your vote.
I vote to summarily suspend as well. I mean, 2 criminal court summonses were issued, 20 SLA violations noted. You know, things like books and records, fire alarm maintenance, all that devolves into a detriment to the public health, safety, and welfare. So I vote to summarily suspend.
Chairman Bradley, your vote.
I vote to summarily suspend as well. Besides the ABC law violations that were listed, it's obvious that this licensee is taking none of the executive orders seriously. There's no attempt to social distance. There's multiple employees without masks. It appears that there's no food. The only food is coming from the outside, and it seems to be just laying on the tables. It's not really being served. So it's obvious that the behavior that's being followed here by the licensee is a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare, as pointed out by counsel. So I vote to summarily suspend.
All right, then with that, I have no other items on the calendar. Chairman Bradley, do you have anything else?
No, thank you.
All right, with that, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.